Holy crap. It's a hot one. Anyway, moving on. Let's show you what else has been going on here. Okay, like we saw in the last video, we got the Mutt looking pretty good here now. I've been doing a little bit of work, kind of boring stuff. Haven't been filming a whole lot of it. But anyway, got the front bumper is now on the truck. Lights on. Just got to do the wiring portion of it. And I got those on. We have the shocks and limit straps. They're now all bolted on. We're good to go there. I started playing around with the doors, starting to partially put those together. Test fit my Scott Rod door panels. I'm still missing the door pulls and all the clips for the armrests, so I gotta get all that stuff together. I think that's gonna look pretty damn cool on the interior here. So very happy with that. Yes, yes. And literally the majority of my time this week has been working on the cage. I have been sanding, grinding. I've been sealing it with the core seal as I go, literally tube by tube. Cutting off all the old bracketry stuff that I'm not going to be using in this new configuration. But I think it's finally ready to set on the chassis now. I'm going to have to get some help doing that or get creative with my cherry picker. But anyway, it's basically all coated in core seal now. Got all the major rust sanded off of it. And this is just part of the tabs and clips and mounts and stuff that I cut off of it. These I'll probably recycle and use for something else. And there was a bunch of other stuff I cut off of it too. But anyway, it's cleaned up good enough to the point where I can put it on the truck now. And I can't wait to see what that looks like. So I'm going to do some creative rigging with my cherry picker and see if I can actually get that sat on here. Well, there we go. Cherry picker actually worked absolutely perfect for this. I rigged up some straps, and actually the very first time it lifted straight up perfectly even. I just lifted it up high enough, rolled the truck out of the garage, sat it right in place. And to get it back in, I just had to push up on the garage door just a little bit more to get it to clear the seal, and got it back inside here. So first issue is, even with the weight of this on there, the rear suspension did not compress anymore. The truck is still sitting at the same ride height. So the problem is my shackle geometry. That angle right there is all wrong. What I got to do is I got to take the frame out and I got to move it forward, and that will put the shackle, instead of being like this, it'll move it forward. It needs to be on a 90-degree angle to that leaf right there. So I got to move it quite a bit forward. Once I do that, the whole truck should come down, and then it'll actually be kind of using the springs, because you know, when you compress the leaf spring, that back part is going to want to get longer. So right now it's just kind of beyond the point. It's actually, shackle's kind of leaning forward a little bit. So it's just, it ain't going to want to, I mean, it might, with enough weight on it, it might flatten the spring and push the shackle backwards, but I'm effectively changing the spring rate quite a bit on how it is. So by moving that whole box forward, changing the angle of the shackle, I will effectively lighten the spring rate, and everything should settle down. But I like it a lot. So let's give a little look, see here. See in the back here, I'm going to have to modify this. I still have to add a 2-inch receiver, so I may end up adding another piece of steel with a 2-inch receiver in it. And yeah, sticks over the cab just enough so I can add more tubing for the exo cage. Sticks out past the side of the cab just enough for some protection. I love it. it actually sits on there almost exactly how it was on my 83 Truggy that this came off of. So right there's the gap between. Should work out nicely. Slider come right open, can reach right through, and I'm still going to come up with some way to mount a cooler right here, right outside that window. But there it is. It's on there. That's step one. This might be the first mock-up, but I like it. And after hours of searching online last night, I finally found the perfect trunk for the truck. So this spot right here goes all the way through. This is 14 inches wide by 9 inches tall, and whatever, as wide as the truck, 60 inches, whatever. I found the perfect aluminum diamond plate, powder coated black, lockable storage box that is 12 inches wide and it's 7 inches tall, so it'll give me a couple inches so I can lay some channel in there, some angle iron to make a little track system, so I can have a little box that'll slide in, and I can take it in and out either side of the truck. I'll just make a little clasp or a latch or something to hold it into place. But absolutely perfect spot, on the perfect box. So that'll be perfect for all my recovery gear. Can get to it from either side of the truck, and that leaves me all my bed space open then for the spare and whatever else I want to throw back there.
Okay, and for another bed accessory, we'll call it, what I needed to figure out is I need to find a way to mount my power tank, my CO2, because not only does the power tank work for airing up the tires, the power tank also is what powers my front air locker. So what I did was, just by luck anyway, my good friend Paul over at Borderline Garage, he had this actual power tank mount that is, I believe, for a Jeep JK that would go on the rear roll cage somehow. I guess on the inside of a Jeep it would mount like this. He gave this to me. It was very nice of him. I tried to buy it and he wouldn't take it. But what I found out is this is actually going to work quite nicely, almost like it was made for this. Just a few slight modifications. This is going to be able to bolt right here to my roll cage. Sits right up against here, sits right on here. I have to change these clamps. I'm going to flip them around the other way, and I got smaller ones to fit the 1 3/4 inch tubing. And then I'll show you what the rest of the mount will look like. But I think this is going to work out absolutely perfect. So let me get this bolted on here real quick.
Okay, there's the bracket. That's how it'll bolt to the cage. Those two clamps there and there. Down here in the bottom, I'm going to make one little tab to pick this up, so it'll stabilize it there. There is the power tank mount. So let me throw that in there and we'll see how it looks. And there's the tank. It's all mounted on, clamped in, so it'll just barely touch that bottom tube on the cage for some support. But she's on there. So now I'll have my valve here, and that'll run, well, actually I have a manifold there, so I'll have multiple air chucks for the air hose, for the air locker, and then I got a little protective bag for the valve. So I like it. I think it looks really cool. It's back behind the cage enough, be protected. Nothing on the trail should hit it. Even if I were to roll it over, it should still be protected. Nothing should happen to it. So perfect. I like it. There it is, the little cover protecting the valve. So I'm liking it. Out of the way, stored perfectly safe. Alright, next on the list is my trunk. So here is the aluminum toolbox that I found on Amazon. It could be a little bit taller, but it'll be fine to throw some couple recovery straps in there, some my snatch blocks, some D-rings, just whatever recovery gear I got. So I laid some angle iron across that opening there, just like that. So the toolbox slides right in that opening, which works out perfect. So I'm gonna pull that out. I'm gonna go ahead and weld the channel down to the frame of the bed cage, and then I gotta come up with a way to secure it down, but I want to be able to pull it out either on the passenger side or the driver's side at any given time. So I'll come up with some kind of little latching mechanism to hold it in, and I think actually on the sides here I'm gonna find some handles so I can have something to grab onto and slide it right out. I think that'll work out pretty cool. And then above it, so on these bars up here, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some aluminum expanded metal, so there'll be a shelf just above the toolbox, but on that shelf is where I'll be able to strap down a cooler, and it'll be right outside the back window. So while we're cruising down the trail, we should be able to just slide open a slider, pop open a cooler, and grab a fresh cold drink. At least that's my idea anyway. And then this whole bed floor will be all the same aluminum expanded metal too. And there is a little expanded metal, kind of a bulkhead that drops in right here too. So yeah, it's coming along pretty good here. All my ideas are working out pretty well so far. Alright, I got the tailgate built and got a little mount for the rotopack on there. Now the rotopack won't be on there all the time, just obviously when I need it. So I made a little mounting plate on there, 2x2 square tubing, a couple brackets, some hitch pins, and a latch in place. Easy to pop that off. But my main concern was I wanted structure. So if I lean either one of these fenders up against something, I didn't want this whole thing pinching shut. So that tailgate closes that gap there and adds some strength to the whole structure. So 2 pins, pull it right out, no big deal. And then there's the rotopack mount. I like it, nice and simple. Okay, I got the toolbox secured. I got that all figured out. I bought some latches. These things, they say they're rated for 200 pounds. So anyway, I got them in here. Got them on each side. Pop them out of the way. Grab my handle that I put on there. Pull the toolbox out. That'll have all my recovery gear in it. Stuff like my tire repair kits and all that sort of stuff will all be in there. So latch on each side holds it down. It ain't gonna move around. So perfect. I like it. Nice and simple. Okay. Got my X-Brite chase light installed. Actually found a set of their UTV roll bar mounts for their pod lights, and they actually worked out pretty dang good on my cage for mounting the light bar. So nice little simple, goes around the roll bar tube. It's I don't know, the angle, it's not, obviously it's not exactly perfect, but the light bar has enough adjustability into it, so it'll all work. And then that should still give me room. It should be just above where the spare tire is going to sit in here. So I like it. I'm digging the Ultra 4 vibes going on here. Man, Maybe I need a trip to King of the Hammers with this. Nah, kidding. But I do like it. I think it looks pretty sweet. That'll work out real good. Just run the wiring right down the tube. And I came up with an idea. I'm not welding the bed to the chassis. I came up with 8 individual mounts to bolt it on. So I'll show a little more detail on that, but we have I made a little bracket for here. It'll mount there. There'll be another tab here, a tab there with bolts going through the actual 2-inch tubing for the bed. Then this is this one. I made a mounting tab welded to the cage and then bolted through the chassis. So I figured out what the hell, might as well make it modular so the bed could actually come on and off if I need to have it off for whatever reason. So yeah, it's looking pretty damn good so far. And I did fix the shackle angle here. I played around with a couple different mounting locations. First location was a bit extreme. I'll insert a picture of that here. So I ended up splitting the difference. First I moved it forward like 3 inches. The shackle angle was real harsh. Not unusable, but I don't have a lot of the weight in the bed yet, so I still have the spare tire. The gas tank's not in the truck. That holds 22 gallons of fuel. There's still some weight, so it's going to come down. So I ended up splitting the difference. I moved the hanger bracket forward 2 inches from the original location. You can see how much I moved it forward. So I feel like once all the weight is in the bed, that the angle should work out perfect. Damn it, fucking bugs. And there's the recovery. There's my receiver. Made a little gusset, some holes in case I want to hook up safety chains, pull a little trailer. Still might build a little overlanding trailer. But yeah, I think that's going to work a lot better now. So once I get all the weight in the back here, we'll see where that angle finally ends up. But it did lower the back of the truck like 3 inches just by moving that, playing with that shackle angle. So the stance is a lot better than what it was. It's not so ass up in the rear. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. I did get about 90% of the cage painted. I don't know if you can see, it does look a little bit shinier. So it is looking better. Just got to do a little bit more paint on it. There's the power tank mount. That's all finalized, bolted up for good. So yeah, making progress. Slowly but surely. So here's a couple of the rear mounting brackets that I came up with. Whipped up some square tubing, capped them off for some strength. And these will get welded on the back of the chassis. Right here I got it cleaned up. Gets welded on there, picks up that mounting hole in the chassis. So I'll burn that all on. I got a nice solid mount there at the back. Got a nice little pleasing angle to it. I like it. So yeah, I got a couple of these done and ready to go on. Alright, got the bed mounts all finished. Bed is all bolted down except for where that tube is going to bolt to the slider. So I got mounting tabs there in the front. One there. One there. One in the back. I made these plates. So we got 8 bolts in there with these plates. And then the same on this side. I think that's pretty good for mounting the bed, like I said, and then the roll cage itself will be mounted right to the rock slider. So I like it. Turned out pretty good. Got my license plate mount figured out, the lights for that. So we're looking pretty good. So the only thing I got to do back here is figure out where I'm going to mount my backup lights, and I need some side marker lights. Probably just mount some kind of trailer light right here in the frame rail somewhere. So I have some red side lights. But that's pretty good. I think I'm going to unbolt it, get some help over here, get this off the chassis, and I got to finish welding all the areas of these tabs that I couldn't get to with it on the truck. So once it's off, get those all finished welded, and then I'll do the final coat of paint on the cage, final coat of paint on the chassis, and we can marry these together. Very happy. All right. Bam. There it is. Rolled it outside so I can unbolt the cage, get it off, and finish welding everything. But I think that's a pretty good look for now. Really like how that turned out. The portions look really good, I think. Yeah. And you got to imagine there'll be aluminum skins going on, so you won't be able to see through the whole bed. It'll actually have a bed, so to speak. So, but I got to find the right color vinyl, so I'm going to wrap the aluminum sheets to match the color of the truck, so it all kind of looks uniform. But I like it a lot. I think it looks really good. All the mounts turned out good. Rear suspension angles already look way better, and there's still a lot more weight to go in it. Got the chase light on. Air tank mount, that looks great. Yeah, this is good. I like the direction this is going. Very much so. So, yep, I'm gonna get this bed off, finish up the welding. A little bit of cleaning up in here. I got metal shavings everywhere. Tired of laying in that crap. There she is. There he is. So, yeah, I think we'll call that good for this video here. Yep, so that'll be it for this one. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I think it's long enough as it is. Showed some pretty good progress on some pretty major stuff here. So get this one up, and I'm going to keep on turning wrenches, burning stuff in, making good progress here. I'm real happy with this so far. So there it is. I'm loving it a lot. So yep, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for the comments, appreciate it. And yeah, let's get moving. We'll see you on the next one. Later.